Hey folks, how's it going? Welcome back to my show. I'm Sean David. Let's talk some old school NBA. In today's episode, I want to talk about one of my favorite point guards from the 2000s, Jason Williams, aka White Chocolate, and have a second look at his career and evaluate how good of a player was he really. But before we get to that, I want to give a quick shout out to my Patreons. Thanks a lot you guys for supporting the show, it's really appreciated. And I would say without any more blah blah, let's go right into today's episode.
One, you come right back and take the next one.
Nice feed from Williams with numbers. Williams pushing it. Blind pass to Anderson for the reverse.
If you don't like that, you don't like NBA basketball. You can see that coming a mile away.
Needs to be more aggressive on the offensive end, but this is the kind of
Bibby again through the legs, stolen. Jason.
Oh, what a blast!
Are you kidding me?
And it's Thunderbird off the Showtime pass by Jason Williams.
His pass is stolen away, and it's Williams again. Working on Chapman behind the back of Beauty. Phenomenal pass to Weber.
What a great man.
yeah, may have been
Jason Chandler Williams was born on the 18th of November in 1975 in Bell, West Virginia. He played basketball from an early age and played for the DuPont Panthers in his high school days, where he became the only player to reach 1,000 points and 500 assists.
Jason Williams.
Do that is exactly what Logan did, and that's attacking off the dribble.
This is Jason Williams with Moss. That may get the...
You can see the spread. Here's Jason has already read him, drops it back, and that's a familiar...
USA Today named him West Virginia's Player of the Year in 1994. Williams had a solid college career at Marshall University, where he averaged 13.4 points per game, as well as 6.4 assists in his freshman year. After 2 years, his head coach Billy Donovan left to coach at the University of Florida, and J. Will followed him. Basketball-wise, Jason Williams improved and became one of the best players in the country, but of course there was also the other side and the problems that he always ran into. In his senior college season, he was suspended for the use of drugs. After that incident, Jason Williams decided to register himself for the NBA draft, and the Sacramento Kings drafted him with the 7th pick overall.
Let me tell you this, guys. We're in contact with NBA scouts throughout the year who were looking at players. We won't name the scout, but here was his report on Jason Williams the first time he saw him play. One of the most exciting players I've seen in some time, 6'1", 190. Innocent-looking kid with an ugly tattoo on each shoulder, and he can play. Creative, wild. He's going to have some big turnover games, but unbelievable. Jumps, dunks in traffic.
With the 7th pick in the 1998 NBA draft, the Sacramento Kings select Jason Williams from the University of Florida.
The crowd reactions at the draft weren't too good. Too many people were afraid that he would be a bust. But hey, that guy was a blessing in disguise. He was the perfect match for the Sacramento Kings. Playing alongside Chris Webber, Vlade Divac, and Peja Stojakovic, the Sacramento Kings were now must-watch TV.
lost the handle, drops it up right to Jason Williams. Williams crosses over, loses Gary, drives into the lane, arcs the high one out the window, up and in. What a move by Jason Williams.
Snow shooting 1 for 8.
Oh, baby!
Behind the back, and they deliver.
They love it here. That's a great play.
Bibby again through the legs, stolen. Jason.
Oh, what a pass!
Are you kidding me?
Oh, man, on his back. How did he see him there?
Well, his name is Jason Williams, that's why.
Jason Williams became a fan favorite in no time. In his rookie season, he was averaging 12.8 points per game, 6 assists, 3.1 rebounds, and 1.9 steals. So very good numbers for a rookie. The only down parts were his shooting and his turnovers. He was averaging 2.9 turnovers, which was a little too much, and he was only shooting 37% from the field because of his not too good shot selection. Fortunately, both improved already in his second season. He really worked hard at his game and earned himself the nickname White Chocolate and was considered to be the reincarnation of the great Pete Maravich.
What length did you go to learning passing and ball handling?
As far as I could go. I knew at an early age that I wasn't going to be able to be successful at basketball by scoring. I was too small, wasn't a very good scorer. So I just decided, if I learned to pass and dribble, maybe I could get to where I need to go that way.
Is it true you wore gloves?
It's very true. I wore gloves, I wore ankle weights on my wrists to make it a little harder, heavier to dribble. Without that, I wouldn't be sitting here.
What does Pete Maravich mean to you?
Pete Maravich, he's one of the guys that paved the way for somebody like me. He's like really one of the first guys with a lot of creativity that translated from practice to the court in the game. So, he had the guts to do it, and I think a lot of guys have it with them, but they don't have the guts to try it in a game.
When people ask you what the nickname White Chocolate means, what do you tend to say?
It really means nothing to me, but at the same time, without White Chocolate, that came with the territory playing with the Kings. It's just the way we played, the way we performed, the way we acted, just part of the job.
From 1998 until 2001, Jason Williams stayed with the Sacramento Kings before he got traded to the Grizzlies in exchange for Mike Bibby. This was a very interesting trade at that time because the Sacramento Kings felt that they needed a more mature point guard in order to take the next step, which really hurt Jason Williams in the long run. He had to go from a title contender to one of the worst teams in the league. Still, he had the best season of his career in his first season with the Grizzlies, averaging 14.8 points per game, 8 assists, 3 rebounds, and 1.7 steals.
March 11th, 2003. With the game on the line and boxer Roy Jones Jr. sitting courtside at Madison Square Garden, Jason Williams delivered the Knicks a knockout blow.
Jay Will looks to make his move. Jason Williams for the win! Jason Williams, 1.4 of a second remaining.
Unfortunately, for the next 6 seasons with the Grizzlies and later with the Miami Heat, his game didn't improve and he didn't take the next step, which was the reason why he never was an all-star. To me as a fan, it was always very interesting to hear the opinion from former NBA players and also former teammates. So this is what we're going to do now with Jason Williams.
When you're with him and you're hanging out around him, what is the public reaction?
That's the guy. That's the guy, White Chocolate. When you say that name, you know who you're talking about, the legend. A lot of people don't use the word legend and don't really mean it, but when we say your name, you're a legend for real.
Listen here, there's not too many guys that I played against. When we switch a pick and roll and I want to guard, I get fast. Like this dude right here would do something so creative to embarrass you out there. Like I didn't like to guard him.
In game.
Oh, look at this! Look at this! Uh-huh.
When you do moves, I consider Gary Payton one of probably the greatest point guard defender ever in the history of NBA. And when you make him try to trip you.
Playing with White Chocolate, of course, a lot of people don't realize that, he was an all-around athlete himself.
Right.
And he was a year ahead of me.
God and Skip. I got a chance to play with Jay Will and God Shamgod. And I've never seen anybody with handles like this. And I'm going to give Jay Will the nod.
Over Shamgod?
Yes. I would see Jay Will.
Yes. No.
I would see Jay Will.
Yeah. No.
I would see Jay Will put 5-pound ankle weights on his.
Oh, that's Shamgod do that.
Jay Will did that in West Virginia.
That's what Sham was doing.
Jay Will did that in West Virginia. Matter of fact, Jay Will got this move. Have you seen this? Now that's the Shamgod. You throw it out. You know how you come behind the back, Reggie?
Mm-hmm.
Jay Will got this.
Yeah.
Jay Will got. I'm a fake it behind the back,
man. Come on, are you kidding me?
Full speed.
No, but
you see he made Gary Payton. You see Gary Payton trying to strip.
Oh, remember that?
Yeah. I remember that night too. He was hard with handles.
Okay.
As a fan, I sit back and I just wanted to know that, so I appreciate that.
A guy that I have to mention that I really had fun playing with, White Chocolate in Miami.
Oh.
White Chocolate was nice to play with. Because
really?
I could just put my hand up like that and the ball be right
and he
there
knew
every
where,
time.
you know what?
Every time. Every time.
Jason Williams would never.
Shout out to White Chocolate.
Right. He would never get the credit that's due as one of those point guards, but he was definitely flash of his time, and he definitely was one of the premier guards of his time.